Hey everybody, welcome back. Paul David here with Automobile Atlanta. Today we're going to answer your questions. Dr. 914 is going to cover seals and the challenges when replacing them. We're going to talk about color changes when restoring a car. We're going to talk about parts you can send to us that we can test and rebuild for you. And we're going to talk about seat options for the side bolsters. That way it locks you in when you're making those turns and having fun. Let's jump right in.
Hi everyone, George Hussey. They call me Dr. 914 of Auto Atlanta. And I have some more questions sent in by our viewers who would like me to explain. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Paul to ask me the questions. So it's sort of like a little bit of an interview here. Paul?
All right, so the questions we have for the doctor. First, we're going to start off with a top fan from Facebook. His name is Kenneth Stern. And he writes in, can your shop diagnose a D-Jet if all the relevant components are shipped to you? The car's on the West Coast.
Absolutely can. What we do is we sort of cheat. You send us the components and we have so, and did I say so many 914s here that we pull one in. Maybe it's a 1.8, maybe it's a 1.7, maybe it's a 2-liter, maybe it's a 914.6, although 914.6s are carbureted. Then we plug the component into a car that we know runs perfectly to test yours. And it takes next to no time, and we can certainly tell whether your car is hard, cold starting, whether it is hard, hot running, whether it doesn't have much power, or whatever, and then call you and tell you exactly what the problem is with your component. We do control units, we do pressure sensors, we do airflow meters. Head temperature sensors are not worth sending it in. We do throttle switches also, and several other different components. We also do 944 and 968 control unit testing. That's it.
All right, next up we have James Winner. He's writing in reference to our post with the seat inserts. He says, hey George, love the seat inserts. Are you aware of any seat alternatives for the 914? He's looking for something with a little more side bolster.
We thought about that years ago also. We reel these 914s around the corners and sort of slide side to side, although the cars do have a little bit of a bolster, unlike cars of the 70s where you'd actually slide out the side of the car. So we came up with our own GT seat. We take a factory 914 shell. Sean in the back puts some high aluminum bolsters on it, and then we have our custom covers that make it look like a beautiful sports seat. You can also get from Stefan, who's in Texas, GTS Seats. He makes a sports seat that looks just like the Recaro or the old Shield seats that will slide right into the 914. They're pretty expensive though. But yes, we do have the high bolstered seats.
Okay, next up we have Lyle Klein. He writes in, I cleaned the sliders for the fresh air blower, but the third speed doesn't work.
Well, is that a trick question? 914s only have one speed. The 1, 2, 3 on the slider switch is turning the fresh air on and turning it on a little bit more as the volume increases, and then finally the motor comes on. So really it only has one speed, and the others are just opening the fresh air box doors a little bit more, a little bit more. 944s, 968s, they have different speeds and they're controlled by resistors, and usually what happens then is the high speed works on those cars, but the low speed doesn't because there's something wrong with the resistor. But I think that if you have a 914, then it's only going to work on one speed.
Okay, so next up we have Porsche VW on Facebook. I have a question. How can I get the hood to close flat with new seals?
That seems to be an eternal problem on these old 914s, especially after they've been in a couple of front-end collisions over the years, or they've had rust repair, or they have had fitting problems due to the fact that they have fixed the gutters as well. So First thing we want to do is we want to close the hood without any seal in it at all and look at the four corners and make sure that it fits perfectly. Things that will keep that from happening are the fit of the hood to the rear cowl. The hood hinge can be adjusted up and down by the bracket. So if you see when you close the hood without the hood seal, if you see the hood not fitting the cowl, maybe a little high or a little too low, the hood seal is not going to work very well. It's going to accentuate the problem. So we look and fit the hood to the rear cowl first to make sure that it is flat and even and square on the cowl and on the two fenders. Once you've established that, then you can look at the rest of the hood. And in an extreme case, we have found that these hoods have bowed over the years. They fit the cowl perfectly, but by the time they get down to the front, they are off. And we're not talking about fit to the headlight box. You have to sort of ignore that to begin with, but fit of the hood all the way down the fender line. And once you've established that as being square and true, meaning the hood fit to the body, then the hood seal should go in there without a problem. If there's a problem to where the hood is bowed up by the seal, buy a top quality German hood seal, because there are many renditions of this made who knows where and how that are pretty bad, really pretty bad, and that would cause your problem. Another thing you have to keep in mind is if the hood is not fitting, look at the clearance to the expansion tank. A lot of people take the gas tank out. The expansion tank is a little bit close to begin with. They don't put the gas tank back in all the way, and the expansion tank actually hits the framework of the hood, bowing it up. And then again, you're never going to have a good hood fit nor seal fit. So those are the things to watch.
All right, next up we have Russell. Russell Whiteman. I need to decide what color to paint my original 19...
Hey. There's only one color, the original color. Come on, man. Don't ask me that question. There's only one color. You paint the car the original color. I'm sorry, what's the rest of the...
So it's a 1970 914 six-cylinder. It's in Maui, Hawaii. He's asking to restore it to original or make it stand out.
The car, unfortunately, or fortunately, is worth a ton of money. And if you don't do it right, you're wasting a bunch of time, you're wasting a bunch of money, and you're ruining a classic 914-6. You paint it the original color. The only way to color change any of these 914s is to strip it to nothing and media blast and sandblast the whole body to bare metal and then start all over again. And by that time, you've spent thousands of hours to ruin a car. And then even if it's built to your taste, by the time your great-grandson gets it and some collector comes and said, you know, I would have paid you twice as much if the car was still the original color, you realize then that you've made a bad mistake, but you're long gone, so you probably don't care.
All right, next up we have over on YouTube, we have a question come in from Alex Flighties. I would like to revert my 1974 1.8 back to fuel injection. What would that cost?
Good man, that's what we want. They were originally fuel injected. They need to stay fuel injected. They run so much better with a fuel injection. And the 1.8 is the far superior fuel injection system. I would say that if you shop on eBay and around, you should be able to get a complete system for $2,500. And that would include some used parts that we would need, plus some of the rebuilt parts, like unless you could be so lucky as to find a good airflow meter, that'll probably be rebuilt. The injector's the same, probably rebuilt injectors, probably rebuilt auxiliary air valve. But the rest of the parts you can usually get used at a really, really good price. It directly bolts on, it's easy to do, unlike carburation. It runs smoothly, you've got great power off the line, it gets tremendous fuel mileage, and it doesn't wear the engine out like carburation, which runs lean when it wants and rich when it wants. So great move. The only thing you have to worry about is if somebody has rebuilt that engine in the past and put some kind of a carbureted camshaft in there, and then the fuel injection won't like it and won't run very well. But that's it.
All right, so we have one more bonus question that came in live during the filming of this video. And it says, it's from Walter Stelter III on Facebook.
The third, I'm the fourth. I'm the fourth, I got you beat.
It says, my early 1971 ignition key tumbler comes out with the key. What is the best way to repair this?
You re-swedge it. It's done that at the factory, and you can take it apart and you can tap the bottom of it and it'll stick in there again. That's a typical problem. Although, if you take the ignition cylinder with you, nobody can steal the car, so you just pull it out and put it in your pocket. Great anti-theft device.